This podcast has been brought to you by the Twisted Thicket and AboveTopSecret.com. Feels like I'm searching for something every day. Exactly. Looking forward, one can lose their path. Remember, you're not alone. Welcome to the ScareCrow Reports 15. Hello my friends, Toraylin the Scarecrow here. It's a nice day out today, and I'm trying to hunt my dinner. But anyway, last report we were talking about our core and how it can change. Over time, the moments and memories that we experience build up and create who we are. I talked about a person who is affected by anger and how continuous events that make a person feel angry can change a person's core and how they feel all the time. To keep it simple, for this study I am going to be talking about fear. Fear is one of the emotions that produces the worst kind of negative endorphins. Fear can take control of our bodies and debilitate a person. Fear is a big factor in depression and other mental illnesses. There are many different degrees and types of fear. How we react to moments in our life that involve fear will differ from person to person. One type of fear that many people suffer from is talking in front of groups of people. Although we can say that there may be different reasons why people are afraid of talking in front of others, it largely stems from what that person thinks of themselves. What this fear is based on is a person's fear that they will mess up or people won't like what they are saying. Even though they have not said a word, many people already assume that the people they are talking to will laugh, not pay attention, or even hate the person for what they are saying.
She's a replicant, isn't she?
I'm impressed. How many questions does it usually take to spot?
I don't get it, Tyrell.
How many questions?
20, 30
Took more than
questions.
100 for Rachel, didn't it?
She doesn't know.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
To suspect, how can it not know what it is? How can it not know what it is? How can it not know what it is?
The hunt went well, my friends. I ate well this eve. But let's get back to the report. When we look into this study further, many cases stem from a person who is not confident in themselves and their view of themselves in others' eyes. When we talk to people one-on-one, it is usually with someone you know, at least to some degree. You know who they are and how you feel about them. The conversation is usually controlled with direct responses from both parties. When it comes to public speaking, it is not controlled and directed by both parties. Except for a possible question-answer period, you do not know what the people are thinking while you are talking. This is where the person who is speaking has no knowledge of the reaction the people are having. Therefore, the only thing the person who's speaking has to go on is what they think the people who are listening are feeling and thinking. This is where the image that the person has of themselves takes over. If they are not confident in their ability or believe that the people who are listening are going to like what they have to say, all of their memories that are attached to this fear are transferred from their long-term memory and their subconscious to their short-term memory and their conscious. Their emotional levels will become way out of balance as they get an overload of endorphins.
Drinking with us, are you?
What's the matter, Doc?
You, talking and breathing. And last night all but a corpse. How did you manage that, Conor MacLeod?
Would you rather I was dead?
It's not natural. He didn't leave with Lucifer.
That was a long day. Sorry about that, friends, but it was getting late, and I had to get home. There are various methods one can use to change their core feelings, as well as how strong their body reacts to situations where they encounter surges of endorphins. Some methods focus on the origins of these feelings, while others try to shift one's focus away from them. If you can recollect the memories of when the events took place that started your fears, you can then analyze them. Let's say that someone was made fun of when they were speaking in front of the class at school when they were a child. They were embarrassed by this, and it affected them greatly. The memory of that moment was, and may still be, strong in this person's mind. Even if that is the only moment in their life that this has happened to them, it may be brought up all the time in a form of stacking. As they grew up, each time they were supposed to talk in front of others, this fear gets stronger. Over time, they may not be able to recollect that event at all, but the feelings that stem from it are strong and a part of their core.
She's the right Alice.
Not anything like herself. That's because she's the wrong
She was, she might be. If she isn't, she ain't. But if she was so, she would be. But she isn't, no how.
How can I be the wrong Alice when this is my dream?
The focus of this study is to try and observe the events in your mind from a different perspective, almost like you're watching a movie or TV show of another person. As you work on this method, you are supposed to analyze the memory, look at what happened, the characters involved, the feelings that all parties were expressing, and so on. We must try to remove ourselves from the situation and look at it objectively. In this method, we are to separate the person we were back then from who we are now. Over time, the more you can separate yourself from those memories, the weaker the emotions become that are attached to them. Well, my friends, that wraps up our study into the self. At least for now. Expect me to cover something different next report. Though you never know what it will be in the thicket, I am sure it will be interesting, to say the least. I'd like to thank all my listeners for their support. And farewell, my friends. This is Toraylin the ScareCrow, signing off.